Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of Antifascist Fridays with Ashera. We are Ashera, Ashera,
Ashera.
something like that.
Ashera.
Let's start it off with a song. Capitalism must burn. Sweep up the ashes and place them in the history's urn. Why don't people wanna learn? I don't know. We all know what's gonna happen if we don't wise up to another way in about a day. The rich just keep getting richer. The exploitation gets worse every day, but there is a way. Capitalism must burn. Sweep up the ashes and place them in the history's urn. Why don't people wanna learn? I don't know. Only we can make it happen. We gotta come together and strategize, gotta organize. No one else is gonna do it. We can't just sit here and be paralyzed and equalized. Capitalism must burn. Sweep up the ashes and place them in the history's urn. Why don't people wanna learn? I don't know. Alright, that one was called Capitalism Must Burn. Alright, let's do another song. This one, we have got a little video slideshow to go along with it. So sit back and enjoy this next one. It's a cover by a very famous old anti-fascist folk song by Woody Guthrie called All You Fascists Bound to Lose.
Make me Your poll tax and Jim Crow greed have got to go. You're bound to lose, you damn fascists. You're bound to lose. Oh, you fascists bound to lose. Oh, you fascists bound to lose. Oh, you fascists bound to lose. You bound to lose. You bound to lose. Bound to lose. I'm going into this battle, take my Union gun. We'll end this world of slavery before this battle's won. You're bound to lose. You're bound to lose. Oh, you fascists bound to lose. Yes, sir. Oh, you fascists bound to lose. Oh, you fascists bound to lose. You're bound to lose. You fascists bound to lose. I said. Oh, you fascists bound to lose. Oh, you fascists bound to lose. Oh, you damn fascists are bound to lose.
Alright, that was again a Woody Guthrie song, All You Fascists Bound to Lose. It was arranged and recorded by our kid, actually, Reeve Bushman. And it's on our first album, actually, that came out last year. But before we talk about anything else, I guess let's talk about what this whole Antifascist Fridays is about. Well, I guess it makes sense to talk about the band a little bit first and how we formed, which, I mean, pretty much was out of a sort of call that was made by Blaise on Suze, the anti-fascist neo-folk sort of music blog for neo-folk bands to sort of come out as anti-fascist and stop letting fascist influences and fascist musicians sort of run the show in the genre and in the music scene, which has been a very big problem in neo-folk and black metal and other sort of associated genres of music. And so we worked, we hadn't done any real music projects in a while, and so we sort of got inspired by the music that we were seeing being written about and listening to, that was sort of coming out of a Blaise on Suze, and so decided to sort of make a project that was specifically geared towards anti-fascist neo-folk, and sort of helping develop and recreate an anti-fascist culture here in the Pacific Northwest.
So then we did our first album, came out last year in December, that had that song that you just heard on it, and the previous song, Capitalism Must Burn. And now we're in the middle of recording our second album, and thought that this weekly thing would be a good idea.
Try to get some conversations going around not just the music, but about why we're writing the music, and hopefully encourage more people to write music and channel their feelings and their ideas, because we all know by looking at history that music tells a story of the times, and it's that expression of the human condition that really can put a mark on a time. If we think back to the 60s, and we think of all the music that came out of rebellion, and it came out of frustration and young folks getting together, and we're living in a time that's maybe even more disruptive in many ways. Definitely we can see the energy's rising, and we're headed somewhere big, and none of us really know. So we want to encourage all the music we can to come out of this time to tell the story, and to be able to put a soundtrack, I guess, to the experiences that we're all having right now. But mostly, hopefully, incite energy around anti-fascism, and energy that might actually build into some real action. And I think that's where we're trying to go, and that's why we're talking about it. We're talking to you is because we don't want it. We want to do more. I guess we want to get more people talking about these issues in music.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's important that we're talking about these things. I think there's very few people who, at least on the left now, who can really deny that fascism is a problem. And I think we'll talk more about it in future episodes, how it's really been a big problem in the United States for a really long time, and much longer than just the modern moment, for sure. But I don't think there's very many of us who will deny that this is a huge problem right now, and that fascist sentiment and fascist ideas and white supremacy are growing and are becoming more and more bold, and it's been happening for years, really, accelerated by the Trump election. And so it's really important, if we're sort of thinking about this as a long haul struggle against this sort of rising tide of fascism, that really redeveloping and recreating an anti-fascist culture is important. So it's not just about being in the streets and protesting, and it's not just about having conversations and learning about anti-fascism and learning about fascism and what it means and how to fight it and all of these important things. But it's about developing the culture and instilling it into every part of our lives through music and through writing, literature, and through other forms of art,
artistic expression.
And so that's, I think, one really, in addition to sort of the conversations that are really important, and that we'll have with ourselves and hopefully with guests at times on the show, but also looking at literature and looking at art, like what's up on the wall behind us here, and really talking about resistance and anti-fascism and these kinds of concepts through art and culture, not just through talk about politics and elections and strategy, right, and all of those kinds of things. So,
right. And our background, basically has been an unfolding story for the duration of our relationship, 15, 16 years. It started, I think, you did some work in college.
Sure.
You were pretty activated. But then, we shacked up and we started raising the kids.
Band, making music.
We started a band because we're both musicians. And then the first sort of big event was Proposition 8 in California, which is where we were living at the time, which was the anti-gay marriage bill that was trying to overthrow the pro-gay marriage Prop 22 court ruling, whatever it was. So it was quite a fight in where we were living in Orange County, and there were lots of churches that were supporting it, and that we just got pissed off. We just got really pissed off that it was even an issue, that it was rolling it back. Like, we had already won gay marriage, and now they rolled it back right before our eyes. And
right, it was literally like, it wasn't just that like the right had never been granted, they were literally voting to take it away. Yes.
And so for us, for many reasons, we just got so angry that we got out there and we started doing small things, protests and things, nothing on a grand scale, and until we moved up to Portland. And that we were up in Portland for a couple years before the Occupy movement started in 2011, and that's when things really shifted for us. And so that's where this painting comes from. There was a man named John, and we never got his last name, but he was around a lot, painting a lot, and he would just set up his easel wherever in the park and just start painting. And we watched this painting develop, and I said, hey, I wouldn't mind buying that from you, and he said sure, and
he said it's not done, but we said we don't care.
We said we'll wait till it's
awesome,
finished.
Right, like it is.
We love it.
No, we didn't. He didn't even finish it. See, I mean, like all the faces are blank. I think we liked that sort of like the anonymity, right? I mean, there was the whole like anonymous thing, and like just sort of like the leaderless ideology kind of that existed in Occupy that we thought the blank faces really kind of helped symbolize.
Yes, and that experience is a much longer conversation, but suffice it to say, we just became activated. It was literally like a switch flipped in our brains, and we became revolutionaries, and we became really, really active in the community in Portland all through that time, and on and on and on and on until we left, really. And so we watched the movement grow, and it was pretty lonely just after Occupy, when everybody went home. Everybody went home, and a few small pods of people kept pushing and kept working. And so that we really haven't gone to sleep since then, and we now live out in the country, and we're older, and we're watching the kids in Portland do the really hard work, and get beat up and get arrested,
and we admire them a lot.
Gosh, that takes so much courage. We both have been through that, but not on this level. I mean, we both did our time, but it wasn't this bad. Like the police were not. I mean, they were brutal, but the stuff that we're seeing in Portland right now is devastating. Devastating. A lot of good friends that we have still there are still out there and risking everything, and it definitely feels like a turn. So I guess from our perspective, having been activists for a good amount of time, I guess, we're seeing a change. We're seeing a difference now. It used to feel like it came and it went with waves, and then the waves would rush back, but this is like a tsunami. And it's both, I mean, it's mostly thrilling and exciting, but it's also terrifying, because people are, blood has been shed. It will continue to be shed. We lost a dear friend, a young man that we helped grow up in the movement, got him out of prison or jail, and drove him home. We watched him get murdered in the streets of Portland, and that, I feel like that is when things really felt different. And from that point forward, it's just been every day another death, every day another story. And so here we sit with our instruments and our ideas, and we hope that this little thing that we're doing might reach somebody, might build community. And I think that would be a big goal, is to just build community around the music, and bring musicians together who have a similar story to tell.
Yeah. Well, with that, want to play another song?
Sure.
All right. This is a song that's pretty new, is sort of
Brand
being
new.
written, brand new, was written for our next album that we're recording right now. So hope you like it.
It's called Consequences.
Didn't mean to leave a bad impression. Consequences matter much more than my charm. Why do I always feel I have to be strong? Why can't I be sad and cry that you're gone? How do we undo systems of oppression? How do we fix so much trauma and harm? How do we make right all the things that we've done wrong? How do we harvest uprising through song?
We have to disrupt.
And fight their oppression. We have to listen with wide open arms. We have to admit that we've always been wrong. We've been singing out of tune for so long.
Yay. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us this Friday evening, and
We hope this is the beginning of a
Something
conversation, and we hope to have people to talk to as well.
Yeah, why not, right?
Besides each other.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Yeah. All right, so we'll be here every Friday evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So we'll hopefully see you next week for more fun time.
Thanks
All right.
for watching.
Bye.